What's up, guys? Welcome to the podcast today. We do not have Car with us today because Car is on the lake because that's way better than being on podcast, Car. So Car's not with us today, but I got Will. What's up, Will? What's happening? How are you doing?
Same stuff, different day. Trying to stay out of the heat.
Yeah, it is very hot. It is very hot. That's for sure. So we had a couple big news real quick before we get into the podcast. Looks like Ken is now sponsored by RGI. So congrats, Ken, on that. That's awesome. Dude. So glad to hear that. They will be giving away one free shed test a month, it sounds like, from what Ken said. We get caught up here in the chats. Ken's here. We got Car because he's on the lake, so he's not with us right now. Thank you, Car. You know, I'm jealous of you right now.
Yes.
Car just hit a clutch too. He had four pieds. Visual to head.
Out of 5 eggs.
Crazy. 4 out of 5 pieds. It's awesome.
That's the makeup for not hitting any pavement clowns.
Yeah, that is very true. That is very true. Also, yeah, big news is we will be going live tomorrow again at the show at Kalamazoo. So we will be out there tomorrow. I think I was going to start the live about 9:15 or so. Could run a little bit late, a little bit early. We'll see. Depends what time we get there. We'll set you guys up with the setup. I think Will on Wednesday, it sounds like, is going to be doing a expo setup. Maybe is Will's Wednesday.
I haven't got a chance to contact anybody else since Mark said.
Okay, so Will needs to get on that. So, all right, guys. Well, you know how we do it. We always give those highlight reels to the guests before we bring them out. So, roll the highlight reel for. So we're gonna follow his intro because I'm sure you guys are tired of watching me and Car's intros all the time.
Pretty hard to top though. So
that is amazing.
Yeah, that's silly.
That's solid. Damn. Is it possible head for anything?
Nope. So I mean, all right, show's over. Let's wrap it. You know,
it's a wrap.
I got it.
I love it. We got a spotlight Yates. You like that, Yates?
Yeah. It was
Right,
skills.
Oh yeah, we had to add that one. So the whole story of that one was we messed with Yates on that podcast pretty bad. I think we get busted out the same snake like 3 times.
I heard about that one.
It was a funny, like, it was great. It was funny, man. So how you been, man, since the last podcast? What's going on?
Good, man. Just living the dream, man. Just doing this thing. You know, it's a great hobby. I enjoy what I do, and I'm producing some cool stuff. Things are looking up. We're well into the 2024 season.
Yep.
And the incubator's full. I mean, let's go.
Is it really? What you got? Yeah. We got in the incubator right now, man.
Well, all right. Just like off top of my head, most exciting thing right now that's like within about a week of hatching, I have just a very simple clown combo, but still a real nice one. I took a red striped Corgo yellow belly het clown, bred it to an OD spot nose clown. So, I mean, you think about all that, the intensities of those reds and oranges on that animal clown pattern. I think it's going to be, if I hit it all, it'll be real hot. That's a nice one.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you too, man. That'd be nice. Maybe you could post some pictures or whatever, and we maybe get some on the ID Wednesdays too. You know, once we do that, I don't know if you've seen that lately though. We're just we did that for the first time last Wednesday, where we just take pictures, have people guess what it is, see if they can guess it, and then we go over the correct genes of it and what we see. It helps people be able to ID stuff.
I love it. No, seriously, I'm look, I like doing all the snake thing, but IDing is like one of the worst things. I never want to misrepresent something, right?
Right.
And but I also don't want to undersell it, right? So it's kind of it's a tough balancing act to make. And so bouncing it off another person is fantastic.
Yes. So we are doing that now. It's just going to help everybody. We just do it for fun. People throw down guesses in the chat. We put it out there. And then the panel themselves, like, we'll guess too. Cause like I chose 3 photos, Will did, and then Carr did. Like, I didn't know what they chose. I didn't know like what it was. I saw the snakes. I had to upload it, but I didn't look for it and try to help guess it, man. It was fun. It was fun. We do it for about an hour. So it was good stuff.
Does everyone know you're like the, I don't know, like the Rain Man of IDs? Like you like are like you're very good, man.
I'm decent at it. I mean, I was me and Carr were really good at it because, like we said, me and Carr were doing this every day at one point, and we got really good at it. And then we got away from it, and we were like, "Oh, wait, let's bring it back for people. Like, let's bring it back as a community, as a whole." I think it would do really well, and people had a really good feedback with it. Will likes it because Will's not the best either.
It helps a lot.
Yeah.
But as far as Rain Man, when it comes to IDing, that would be Austin.
Oh yeah, that's Austin, dude.
There was one point in time I was bouncing something off Glenn, and he was like, "No, you got X, Y, and Z," and I'm like, "Damn, I didn't even see that." And you recall that, right?
Yeah, I remember that. It was shortly after that first podcast, I believe, is when we were doing that.
I was impressed. So
yeah,
congratulations on
that. Thanks, man. So what else do you have in the incubator?
Well, I've got some. Hopefully, I've got some hypo DG clown stuff coming. I mean,
that's I figured.
That's what I specialize in. A lot of it's long-standing where I started like marrying that project.
Right.
I had like a hypo DG project and a clown hypo project, and I just started rolling it together. So, a lot of girls that I've raised up. I just hatched out. They haven't shed yet, but I took I took this male I produced a couple years ago. Some people probably remember it was a black pastel leopard yellow belly DG hypo.
Yep.
So that was like a real nice male. It made some waves, This is sort of as like hypo DG shit was just kind of coming on the scene, and people were really like warming up to it. And what was the female? I produced her a couple years back. It was a OD inchy pastel spot nose clown. And so this male, his father, I believe, was 100% het. He was sold to me as a class het. But I proved him. I did hit some clowns in a clutch, but I didn't really consider. I never did genetic testing or anything like that. But turns out I don't think he carries the clown gene. So I had an 11 egg. It was a 10 egg clutch, but I got a set of twins and got no clowns. But everything at a minimum is triple hets. The female. She was also 50% het for hypo and DG. Proved out on both, I think.
Oh, heck yeah, dude.
The DGs, I'm still waiting on the shed to like 100% confirm it, but there's some pretty vibrant snakes in there. I'm thinking I got it. So I'm at it.
Do you have like what's the most triple visual you have stacked?
True. I don't know. I've got like a cryptic male that's got a couple things going. It's kind of hard to say. The pattern's a little funky. I think he's got maybe just like spot nose inchy and I think pastel. So nothing too crazy, but I'm set up for a lot of pretty cool things like here in the near future.
Oh, you were set up for I think it's been 2 years since you've been on here? A year? You're set up then, man. Like I can only imagine what you have now.
Well, it's so funny because I was like, well, market's been a little slower. Things are tougher. I want to kind of just like, slow the pace, keep it going, keep driving forward with all the projects. And these girls just keep fucking laying. I don't know what's going on here. I was like, okay, all right, another clutch. Here we go. But it's a blessing. I mean, I can't really complain.
No, you can't.
Yeah, exactly. So
did you downsize at all? Did you get
really not? I mean, just the slightest bit. But I need to. It's sort of a plan for me to, I used to like follow and be in the Patreon and stuff for Ozzy. And he always talked about his method was, reduce. A female would lay, and then he would just put that female up, right? And you would see that, and these things would go real quick. So, my plan for the longest, it was like, why would I ever sell a visual clown hypo, whatever? But now I'm at the point where I've got, single or simple single gene combos that are adults that are well established. I think I'm going to make a list and just put them out there. Some people could use them for sure, but I've got a lot of stuff I'm bringing up that are, 2, 3, 4-year-old snakes that are either ready to breed or breeding. So I need to make some space.
Yeah, I think that's what I kind of go off of Ozzy's, Formula 2. Like, so I got obviously I got that GHI Mojave Enchi hypo. So now I'm gonna raise her up because the Mojave hypo that laid, she's going every 2 years. By the time that I raise her up, she'll be ready for that round. I really don't need it for a year and a half. Make some space for holdbacks and stuff like that too. So
can't keep them all, no matter how pretty they are.
Can't keep them all. She can go somewhere really good in someone else's collection. Use her.
You can try though.
Yeah,
you could try to keep them all.
Go broke on rats though. That's the problem.
I don't think Billy understands the aspect of you can't keep them all.
Yeah. I wish.
2,000 to
I wish. How many do you have now, Yates?
I don't know, man. I always just say 100. I don't.
Does it sound as bad? You don't feel as guilty for it?
I get a varying degree of reaction. Like if I tell snake people 100, they're like, ooh, 100. And then I tell a neighbor I have 100. They say, oh God, 100? Like so many. So consider your audience,
That's very true. Well, I mean, your audience is here with snake people. So it's like,
that's right. That's right. Hello, everybody.
Yeah. Oh man, that's funny. Well, what else are you working with? You got an incubator? You got any pieds or anything? Are you really heavy on pieds?
I have a very limited pied project. Really, it's non-existent. Except, so let me see. First clutch I hatched out this year was I bred a pied male that was double het for. It was a pied leopard that was double het for lavender and clown. And I had a lavender, a leopard lavender het clown that I paired to it, and I ended up hitting the what I believe to be a super leopard. I just have it up as a leopard. It's actually on my morph market right now. That is a leopard lavender, and it's clown 100% het for pied. So nice. That's about the extent of my pied projects, really.
Yeah, you're just like me, or like hypo everything.
100%. Yeah, 100%. It's funny. People shit on hypo for some time. It's weird how things are like cyclical, right? So the hypo was, pretty popular gene. People liked it. It wasn't like overly popular. It probably never achieved the popularity of clown. It was just an older gene. But you get into, these days, like people are all on board. They're all in. Like for a while, you can't even give those things away. So it's just strange how things change.
It's very strange. It was very strange too. Like internally, like everything was hypo DG.
Yeah, well, that's it's funny when I did my first hypo DG project, way before it was ever a thing. In fact, I don't think I had ever seen one. I had what did I have? I had a pastel yellow belly het hypo that I had just a visual DG male, and I didn't have anything to do with that yellow belly. I just didn't have anything to do with it. I was like, let's see what happens. And turns out it's the peanut butter and jelly of the snake world. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So
do you have anything that you might consider getting into in the near future? I have one that I want.
You go first.
I'm thinking about tri-stripe.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking about?
There's a hypo tri-stripe on morph market right now that's freaking killer.
Well, all right, let's take that and unpack it for a second.
Okay.
So tri-stripe is fucking legit. All right. Yeah. It's never seen its day. Like there's real potential in tri-stripe. I mean, I like it. I think it's it's sort of like comparable to clown. It's not necessarily a new gene or anything. It's been around forever, but it's just never. I think if you were taking a lot of color enhancing and pattern cleaning genes and plugged it in a tri-stripe, thinking like your lavenders, your DGs, that kind of stuff, I think there's a lot of upside to the tri-stripe project. Now, you may have less you could do with the pattern, but I don't know, man. I dig it. I like it. You should do it.
Yeah, I was looking at the combos and stuff. So I don't like the OD in it. Sugar doesn't look good in it either. The pinstripe actually does look really good in it. The tri-stripe actually settles down the pin, which is actually pretty interesting. And you still get that tri-stripe look on it. It's actually really cool. Like I said, there's just not, you don't see too much with it, but it's a very interesting, and it's still a recessive. So we'll see. So I was thinking about maybe, adding to that project, maybe, well, I mean, not adding to it. I don't have none, but getting into that project.
You probably get in for like very limited.
Yeah, like a single gene tri-stripe is $1,000. There's some on there for $850 or whatever. You gotta make sure you get a good quality one though, because you see the ones. Yeah, you see the ones that are only like tri-stripe in the first half of it. You want that tri-stripe to go all the way down to the tail. That's going to resort in your quality of your babies and stuff.
Is it a variable thing? Like, is it like pipe? Like, is that variable or is that like genetic? Like,
no, I think you're going to get your quality on that with your line breeding. So like, if you get a good stock on it, a good example of the tri-stripe, I think you're going to have good, obviously you're going to have good quality tri-stripe babies, especially if you keep the better ones back. And then like you start, doing the generations of it, you could probably end up with a really good, solid quality tri-stripe. I said there are some, like everything. There are some crappy ones on there. I was talking to the car and stuff, and he's like, "Oh, here's one on auction or whatever." I'm like, "Nah, my dude, like look at it. I'm like, look at the quality of it though. Like, it only goes halfway down the side of it." And here, I'll show you what I mean.
It doesn't do any good to get half quality snakes,
right,
and produce more half to quarter quality snakes. You're just flooding 100%. You're just flooding the market with crap stuff.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to buy it, but I mean, but if that's the reason you're doing this, you're doing it for the wrong reason.
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree more. I've always been a believer in pay a little extra for the higher quality example. The results for, it sells itself essentially,
Yep. See, like this, this is a pretty decent example of the tri-stripe.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you'd like that to go more towards the tail. I mean, it still goes all the way on the snake. You know what I mean? Compared to like, dude, there's the hypo. See, the hypo one, dude, is insane.
Nice. Yeah. And then you could improve on that a lot. I mean,
that's a great example. Yeah, that's an amazing example of the tri-stripe.
Yeah. How much is that?
$4,500.
I don't think I'm at a point where I want to do that right now. But
no.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, but I don't like the OD just ruins. That could be a really bad quality. It's not bad.
I don't mind that. I kind of like that.
It reduces the striping a little bit, but the color's enhanced.
Right. The color's way enhanced on it.
But it's taking out the actual good look of the tri-stripe.
It does.
The two stripes, yeah.
So you're giving up part to get better saturation of the oranges, and
sugar ruins it.
Trash.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could actually get the tri-stripe with that white at the bottom, that would actually be kind of cool.
Kyle Frost has some really good examples, because I was looking on his and stuff. He has some females. I was like, I think I'm going to end up getting into that project at some point.
You should do it. Yeah. I mean, listen, if you just do like little onesie twosies. So like, all right, my bread and butter, Hypo DG Clown. All right, I've been dabbling with this lavender project, right? Man, that whole clutch sold like that. Outside, the best male is just sitting because I've got him priced appropriately, and people aren't spending like big money right now.
What's up, David?
But I think it's good to have little side projects and
it is
like keeps the fun part of it, right?
What's up, Jamie? Yeah, for sure. And that's why I'm just like, well, I'm a lot like I got the hypo, I got the DG stuff, I got the clown, I got some Xantic stuff. I'm like, what else that's kind of cool that I can work with and just kind of twist it, make my own twist on it. I'm like, I like tri-stripe. I'd take tri-stripe over G-stripe any day.
Yeah, well, and G-stripe has seen like a crazy resurgence.
It has.
It's funny how things do that, right? Like G-stripe used to be like hypo, and nobody wanted them. And, funny, not a recessive gene, but you touched on it earlier. pinstripe. Pinstripe I thought was dead, done. You'll never see a pinstripe. It's almost like a spider. And I'm kind of seeing people warming up to it again. It's kind of funny.
I got that double head. You see that double head girl I hit? She's a black head, red stripe, pin, double head hypo clown girl.
I'm not a big fan of pin, but
what was that, Yates?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll say no, I'm not mad at that. That's good. Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of I got a blackhead clutch this year. It was kind of interesting. I took a blackhead.
I'm the same way.
Blackhead hypo. It's 100% het for clown. And what did I pair that to? Whatever the case, it was a project where I was supposed to get visual clowns. I got none. And
you got none?
7 or 8 egg. And I'm like, I produced the female. Oh, the female was a pastel. No, she was a fire. What was it? Fire yellow belly and lesser. Yeah. And everything was blackheads. It was real weird. So I don't know if I either just totally scratched out, which is highly unlikely, or maybe this male, which I purchased, did not end up with the clown in it,
right?
Which would be unfortunate. But it ended up being a super blackhead. That was kind of cool. Everything's blackhead, so I had no idea. So
that's awesome, though.
Take a little.
You can't you can't complain with that. I'm gonna make some people blue real quick. Yeah, you got any questions for Matt? I know freaking Will's over here like, who is Matt? Is Matt this? Is Matt that? I'm like, why are you asking? He's gonna be on the podcast.
I heard about the first podcast, but I didn't have time to look and everything. And I was asking him like, where are you? Where?
It's all good. You can't keep up with all these ball python breeders. They're a dime a dozen. That's the way I say. So
you can't.
Yeah, man. Anybody's got any questions? Feel free to ask.
What is your favorite project?
Say it again. Favorite project?
Yeah, that you're working right now.
Do we really have to?
I
think everybody knows.
Other than DG,
yeah, you've already touched it 4 times today already.
Yeah.
But,
other than that, what is okay?
I'm adding some quality recessives to that project. Like, I just hatched out that clutch that I hatched. I can't wait till they shed. I want to share them, but I was kind of, how it is. You get a clutch out and they're, they don't look. They're, you gotta wait for that first shed.
You gotta wait for that first shed. Yeah, dude, I get it. You want like you're impatient.
Like, is this Desert Ghost or is it not? I need to know. I'm rolling some pretty good. You got to think. All right, so Hypo DG Clown, everything's a triple het, but I'm rolling that whole everything there is like, all right, what are my codoms? I've got some of the standard stuff. I've got your leopard. I've got your spot nose. I got Orange Dream. I got Inchy. Like a lot of my project rolls with. I have there's a founding male that I got that was a pastel Inchy spot nose. So I have so much spot nose and Inchy in my collection.
You do have a lot of spot nose.
I'm like trying to phase it out almost, because I'm like, even if I do other pairings, I'm still going to end up with, just depends on, what happens. But what I wanted to say, you were talking on projects I want to get into, right?
Yeah.
So we didn't circle back. Gorilla, baby. That's where I want to go. And I know a guy that
you do.
may have a little in his collection. We may need to talk a little later. Yeah. That's a cool gene. I like that.
It is. I'm going to have it in Hypo Puzzle. We're going to do double hets with that.
Right.
We're going to have it in Hypo Clown, but that's a split clutch between me and Carr, and that clutch probably won't be touched. So we're going to split that one up. That's his female. We're gonna do. I got the DG Hypo girl too, but I'm trying to make triple hets right now with her. So maybe by next year. So I said we'll see. But the Hypo puzzles for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm not a puzzle guy really. I don't hate puzzle.
I know.
And it doesn't really appeal to me as much. I'm more of a clown guy. I feel like.
I was gonna do the I wanted to see what it does. I'm really interested in it. I have that acid clown girl too. Okay. So a GHI acid gorilla het clown's pretty dope.
Yeah.
I want to see what it does with acid.
I got some cool hypo clown stuff. I'm, obviously my focus is trying to get the triple, but there's a couple doubles that I'm working, and I got some cool stuff I'm looking forward to.
Send me a female. But yeah. Whoa, that's weird. Did you hear that?
Yeah, what happened? It was like a seizure or something.
Right? It's funny. But yeah, dude, we'll see but I don't know if you've been weary or not. We've said it a couple times in the show. It's very similar to genetic black bag.
Oh, okay. The gorilla is?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's let me see if he's shed. I don't know if he's shed.
All right, yeah, let's see it. Is that a hypo? Do you know, Will? Is that a hypo?
The gorilla is just a GHI gorilla.
GHI gorilla. Okay, all right. So
no, the black back that he has is a granite black back.
It's a granite, because here's the black back. He's probably got a fucking tag. So this is just a single gene. Well, it's a granite black bag. But we're gonna try to prove it out. We're proving it out.
Okay.
And I mean, it kind of gives you like the head on it, like with the gorilla, because he's in shed. You're not gonna be able to tell right now. But like the head and stuff, like the head markings, like the tracks down here are very similar. And when it's so I don't know. We'll see. I don't think they are. I mean, they could be like a similar type thing, but like a different kind of like how Mackenzie and Zebra are. But even though that's not proven out yet, but it kind of gives you that type of vibe to it. Like I can see the similarities of it, but I can see the difference of it because I'm watching them age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll see. So like I said, I don't know. Cars. Yeah. Cars picking up a male, and he's gonna breed it too. He has a GHI Mojave, so we're gonna try to hit a genetic GHI, see if they're similar to the gorilla, see like what the look looks like as well. So that's one way to do it. And then I'm gonna breed the gorilla to this female here, and we're gonna see if we can isolate them both.
Yeah, it's just a fun new gene, regardless of it.
Regardless of it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It caught my eye. I know I got the DPR. I saw him produce some of that. So I think, is he the founder of that?
It's actually MBK.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
It's the one he works for. Yes.
Okay.
But he's not really because he came up with the Abercrot, I think that's what he founded. It was it was that one, the Abercrot, and there was something else. I think there was two of them, and the rest of them was MBKs.
Was it Burn?
Maybe.
Okay. Well, I think
regardless,
I know about it. Maybe he was pushing it or something. Like put a video out, and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of nice. I like that."
It is.
Real popular these days.
We did a video. Well, actually, we did a pod before we redid the podcast. He was the last one on the old podcast before we redid the layout and stuff of this one. And we went over all the new genes and stuff. So if you want, that would be one to sit there and go back, Yates, and go touch that one. I did think that we did talk about the genetic blackback stuff, and I pull out single pictures of it and bring them out. So that would be a podcast to go back and go rewatch.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's hard to keep up with There's so many podcasts and all this stuff. I want to watch them all, but it's impossible.
It's so hard, dude. It's so hard. All right, real quick, guys, we're going to take a commercial break. Oh, yeah.
They don't get no sound on that? What's going on here?
What?
There's no sound on it.
There wasn't?
Nah. It was on mine.
It was on mine. Yeah. That's weird.
My off-brand computer, I guess. I don't know what to say.
Anyone else hear the sound? I don't know. Let's take a chat poll real quick. I heard it.
Yeah, take it to the chat.
Take it to the chat. What do you think, chat? You guys hear it? What's up, Tammy? We heard it. Yeah. Commercials.
You know what? It's been a long work week. Clearly.
Yeah, we do commercials now.
Yeah.
Well, hello,
Nice.
Josh. Welcome to the podcast. Yeah, we do commercials now.
Yeah.
Make sure you get your go for Coco. The best of the best. Oh man, I love it. All right, but yeah, back on topic here. Do you have any Xantics? Are you working with it?
No. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I was never a big fan, and I've since sort of warmed up. See, I think I could slide some Xantic right into a lot of the existing projects I have and probably enhance them, because sometimes more is not necessarily better, right? And in this circumstance, I like the color, right? I like to have the color and the saturation and everything like that. But
what line? What line would you go?
Say again? Oh, VPI. I think
you go VPI line. Yeah.
So I've thought about it. I don't know. I remember I was talking to Emilio about some of the VPI stuff, and we kind of exchanged on it a little bit. And I've been thinking about it, but I've not invested. I'm already doing triples. Like, you go roll another, get another gym in there. It's a little overwhelming. I probably should be building like the groundwork for it, just picking up a FUL that's making like het. But down the line, I mean, if the right opportunity came, I would definitely snag that. So that'd be a direction I would maybe take things. You're talking about like, where else could you go and what would you do? I've thought about like Sunset too, to be honest. That's another one.
There you go, Will.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Anybody in the chat that has any suggestions where to take a hypo DG clown, let me know. I'm
working into getting a lot of the Sunset to hypo clown pod type stuff, but
okay. Yeah, I think there's some legs on that. I was never a huge fan of the Sunset, but I've seen some stuff that I think Ultramel and Sunset are sort of made for each other. I think that's the direction to take it too. Get some hypo in there, maybe even the DG. Perhaps it's you never really know how things are going to react until you get them. You can like speculate, but it's realistically you got to like create the combo to know.
Yeah, that's big facts right there. I know a lot of you guys are in blue too right now, so make sure you drop your own links as well in the chat so other people can follow you. That's why we're here. So drop your guys' links, your Instagrams, YouTubes, whatever. I don't care. But yeah, dude, that's awesome. I'm working a lot with the hypo. I did pick up I had the GHI Spot Nose Clown double het hypo DG I got from Justin. And I have a Lesser Cypress Yellow Belly Clown double het. I don't like to go. I wish I could improve those odds a little bit, but that's still going to be a powerhouse pairing.
Man, sometimes you just got to take the chance.
You do.
I was talking, there's this kid, he's kind of newer to it. We've been talking on Instagram a little bit, and he's like, well, I need a double visual. I'm like, why? Like, get the single that's a pass het and like prove that. There's so much more upside on that. I guess I have a different perspective. I've been doing it for a number of years.
Right.
At a certain point when I was, earlier in the game, I didn't have the patience, right? I was like, I need it now. Like, I can't raise this animal up for 2 or 3 full years. Oh, that's crazy, right? But like now I'm like, dude, I'll, go take a nap and come back and that thing will be breed ready. It's just it just goes so fast.
It does.
I just throw it in a rack, keep it fed. When it's ready, it's ready. Hopefully you got a good feeder.
Yeah. I said, I'm the same way. Will sees it and how the collection is. I need this double visual. I need this double visual.
He is just like that. He is 100% impatient.
I'll make my own codoms into these, but I went off the fact that you need a good base. You need a good stock to sit there to build off of. And then you up your stock and then, you keep building off your stock. So like, in order to have a good stock, I'm going to invest heavy. Oops, my bad.
I've been doing it for years. I mean, that's a fact, same shit, right? Like, buy quality animals, raise them up yourself, have a vision, right? It all starts with having a vision. You take that vision, you implement it, you execute, right? You go ahead and say, hey, this would be cool. What if I did this? Okay, so you got to make double heads, triple heads. So what? Down the line, it'll be worth it.
100%.
I've bred females at 18 months. I shit you not. Like
really
good feeding. Like, that's the exception, not the rule, right?
Right. You have your exception.
Or just trash.
What's up, K and D?
You feed them, and then you got a spare rat, and you're like, okay, take another one, right? And sometimes there's girls that'll just eat like that. They grow like crazy, and you can breed them at 18 months. It's more like it's 2 or 3 years, but it can happen.
I had that one, that double het girl. She's the double het VPI clown. I paired it up. She would not eat. She was stuck at 1,100 grams. It was like 1,150. I'm like, screw it. I'm like, screw it. I'm gonna pair them up. Freaking paired up, kickstarted her. She started slamming food, and then she laid 6 eggs. I'm like, let's go. That worked. But that's the exception. I don't do that, but I mean, I had someone told me to try it. I was like, okay.
I've definitely had girls that were just like that, stubborn, picky, finicky, right? And then throwing a male in just incentivizes them, right? They start developing those thoughts.
A lot of your top breeders say that, like, if you have an ultrasound, you know, if they're of a decent weight, you know, not necessarily the 1,700, but they're before they will ovulate, they'll be over the 1,700. They say go ahead, because they're sexually mature at that point. There's not a scale in the wild. So whenever they start growing follicles, they're technically their body's telling them they're ready to produce eggs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't have an 100%. Ultrasound, you don't know if they have follicles or not. So I wouldn't recommend anybody that does an ultrasound to go that early.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You got to just look at it. There's a couple things, some variables, weight, and then just like general age, right? Just look at them. If you got a girl that's over 2 years old, probably breedable. You know, if you got a girl that's, I mean, realistically, you could breed a girl that's like 1,000 grams. I'm not saying I recommend it, but you know, that may be the thing that kickstarts her into developing
the follicles and stuff, right? She ain't gonna weigh or anything like that. You're not trying at that point. You're not trying to fertilize anything. You're just trying to get her to eat.
Correct, and that'll happen too. Like, okay, you may not even get a clutch for her for next year, but she may put on 1,000 grams between now and next year just because you did that.
Yeah.
Because you did that, 100%.
I've literally done that because it wasn't gaining any weight. Put a male in with it, got the lock unintentionally. I put them in there, went back an hour later, and they were locked. I was like, that's not the one I wanted to do that.
Okay. Of course, it's the one that sired it. No. But, Go ahead, Will.
I was going to say, but like you said, that happened, and then she started slamming food and was up to 2,400 grams in no time.
Right.
Heck yeah. If you guys have any questions for Matt, too, throw them down in the chat. We'll answer them. That's what this is for, too.
Yeah, you guys have to tell me. I'm trying to watch on my phone a little bit, but
I know I am too. I'm trying to highlight people in the blue and stuff as well. Also, we're gonna do a quick announcement too. 1,000 subscriber giveaway, because we are close. We're gonna be doing 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So I know Yates. I know you donated something 2 years ago for the $500. Did you ever? Did they ever get that?
Nobody ever even.
Nobody. I got credits out there too.
I would I would honor it for sure. I mean, if you want me to, I'll throw something in. We'll figure it out after this.
We'll figure it out.
A credit, store credit.
Yep, that's what I'm gonna do, or a snake or something. So we are gonna be doing 1,000 subscriber giveaway because we are close. So make sure you guys are sharing the channel. I appreciate you. Here's a question: are you working any paint, Matt?
No paint. No. I'm warming up to it a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. That's another really old school, paint signal. Those are like something that go way back. And I'm gonna mess this guy's name up. He's a Southern California guy, Azani. I believe he does some pretty cool paint stuff. I've been keeping an eye on his page and watching a lot of what he's producing.
I have him on Instagram. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. We've
exchanged a little bit, and he sent me some photos. He's like, "Check this out. Look what I did here." And I'm like, I'm kind of warming up to it. I'm not going to lie. Not to the point where I'm in it, where I've definitely made the plunge and gotten into the project, because I just don't really want to take on more at this point. But I'm not opposed to it. I think it's got a lot of upside potential for sure.
It does. Especially I saw a paint yellow belly. So simple, so badass. Like the pixelation and stuff on it. Oh my gosh, it's insane. It's insane. So, have what did you say? How many clutches do you have right now? Did you say?
I think I'm at 10 right now.
10? How many did you do last? How many are you expecting?
Honestly, I always kind of float around the like 12 range.
Yeah.
I'm intentionally small and I'm bigger than I actually want to be. When you get too large, it takes the fun out of it, right? And
It
I
does.
want to enjoy what I do. And cleaning snake tubs is not something I enjoy. So I like to limit the amount that I have. I think right now, I think I just got either clutch 9 or 10 just the other day. I got some cool stuff in the incubator. Honestly, I did a repeat. I don't know if you've probably seen the chocolate Wookie DG Hypo male I produced last year. That's like a hot one. People are loving. I repeated that pairing. I'm doing that with Marvin at Elegant Anomaly. He's a local guy here that we've done a couple collabs in the past. And it was such a good one that I was like, let's run it back. And I don't typically run things back, but that was one I'm like, we need some more of those in this world. And unfortunately, the girl I have from that clutch is just one of those slow growers. Just, it's always the ones you want the most that are the ones that are kind of just, I'm going to take my time. So she's offered every week. She eats most of the time. She's just kind of little, hopefully she'll make up for it later. We'll see. Maybe I can toss a male in when she starts developing some follicles and get her, jump started. So
We had Will over here said Wookie and chocolate are different genes. I thought that was already proven.
I think that's
they're allelic. They're allelic.
Yeah, they're allelic, correct. Yeah,
they're allelic because Carr has that Wookie chocolate clone.
Yeah, and that's sort of why that gene, how those allelic combos are always really cool.
They are
a major reaction, right? And that's sort of what's going on with those. It's unfortunate. There's that that whole spider complex. There's so much that's in that complex, right? And I can't list them all off. I'm sure people could, but I think of cypress and a number of things that are in that complex. And I'm like, damn, I wish this was not allelic. I want to pack this all into a combo.
Dude,
and I would almost love to just look it up real quick just to be like, okay, what is in that complex? Because, spot nose and cypress and, whatever else, they got fantastic genes that are in there. Yeah.
So many good genes. Yeah. In that
cypress.
What else? Yeah.
Blackhead.
Yes.
Blackhead.
Somebody was telling us the other day that spider is associated in blackhead. I don't remember who it was that they bred a blackhead to something and they got spiders out of it.
I haven't heard that.
I've never heard that
on the podcast.
I could sort of see how, maybe a blackhead could have originated out of a spider. There's different levels to spider.
Yeah, I can see that.
They're kind of, there's some of them that are darker and have better contrast and stuff. And,
maybe it was
I just publicly state that spider is a badass gene. I don't care who wants to shit on it, but spider,
I love spider.
If you guys were in long, back in the day, spider was the gene to have. I mean, everybody, pre-whatever, 2010 or 2015 or something like that was what everybody wanted. I had this cool ass nerd poster that was in my snake room back in the day. It said along came a spider and it had all of the different combos. And I used to
That's cool.
That thing. Yeah, it was cool.
They said that bongo now was added to the spider complex as well.
I just saw somebody
I did not see that.
I think I seen that.
See you, David. Thanks for tuning in, man.
Hey, David.
Later, David.
They said Blackhead too is supposed to stop the wobble, which I've heard that too.
Because we were talking to somebody at a show about that because I said that, and they said that's why.
Is Will for real with that? It makes spiders look normal.
I don't know. I think what he means by that is that they don't wobble.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they maybe I don't know.
Okay.
That's what I'm guessing.
If I get a male blackhead, I'll put it to a spider and we'll see because I have two female spiders. So.
Okay. Yeah. I phased out the spiders. I'm not going to lie. As I'm over here touting spider, I'm I definitely got rid of all my spiders.
Phasing is gone.
I love spider, but they don't produce very many because they are very hard to get rid of.
Right.
Yeah. It's any pastels. People are they shit on pastel all day long, but so I'm sort of phasing out pastel, but honestly, certain
vanilla
combos,
pastel.
They look great with pastel.
Or not or lemon pastel. Sorry, not vanilla.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Lemon pastel. Pastel. Any tricks besides pairing to get them ladies to size? time and patience, my friend. Pretty
Feed the
much.
hell.
I mean, that one,
Week.
I have that female right now that I'm waiting to lay, and I've had her for 3 years, and this is gonna be her first clutch, and she's massive.
Yes,
So I mean,
Temperature
they just go
difference
when they
is-
want. Yeah.
You know,
huge.
like doing a drop, even though it sounds counterintuitive, you know, that can like stimulate them after they kind of go into, they slow down for a minute, then they speed back up. So that's the thing that's potential. I mean, there's a lot of different ways. There's more, as they say, there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's a lot of ways to get some size on a female.
I mean,
there
also take like a
that's what I thought he said. Yeah, they don't look like spider.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It is crazy.
And to get the females, you can take the male shed and put in there.
There you go. Yeah,
it'll basically do the same effect, or pop one and get some sperm plugs and wipe it on her.
Stimulate them.
Yeah, yep, I've heard that one.
Without the possibility of a lock actually happening.
Yep. No.
All right. So have you had this happen, Yates? So I had a female, which I still do, obviously. It spit out a slug. They'll spit out a slug, and how long before they lay?
Like she slugged out, and then like
no, she didn't even say
one slug.
One slug. The clutch is still in her.
Oh, nope. That'd be a first. I'd be a little concerned if that happened, but these snakes are, they're pretty resilient. You know,
they are.
Out of all my years, I lost one. I had this weird thing happen with a female where they told me at the vet. You know, I took the snake to the vet, and what did they say? The eggs developed like outside of the oviduct, and they basically went septic and like caused her to like, her skin was like falling off. It was like a nasty thing, right? And it was like it went septic, right? The eggs came off as an infection, you know, basically caused an infection, I guess, secondarily. And but like most of the time, like people get caught up and they're like, you know, you need to, lance the egg and suck the crap out of it and whatever. Man, you're just going to cause problems. Let nature do its thing. Yeah. So like with that girl, I would be concerned. I would be keeping a close eye on her, but honestly, she's probably just going to pass that and lay anyways, right? Is that what happened?
Yep. Well, I waited because she laid a slug. We went to Columbus Friday. Before I left, of course, she laid a slug. I'm like, go figure. I'm like, she's gonna lay this clutch. I'm like, well, I got a hold of one of my buddies and like, hey, you might have to go pull your first clutch. You're going to keep an eye on. I'm be gone for 3 days. And she never laid. And she don't look egg bound. I had one that went egg bound, and you can like, she literally like her stomach sucked in, and you can see the space and outline of every single egg. Now this one, you cannot see that. So I've heard too, after talking with Billy and some other breeders and stuff, that they may pass that one slug just to get a little bit more comfortable because they know it's bad anyhow. And Mother Nature will just kick it out. And then maybe someone said they've had that happen, and then 10 days later, they lay their clutch.
Okay.
This is happening right now.
They look like
this is happening right now. I ultrasounded her. Me and Will ultrasounded her yesterday, and I didn't see any blockage. It didn't look sideways or anything like that. The vet appointment was today, but that was for another issue because I was supposed to bring her in. But I'm like, I don't want him to sit there and move her. I'm like, her body condition looks okay. I ultrasounded her. That looked okay. I'm like, I'm gonna push it out 2 weeks, 3 weeks or so. If she doesn't lay by then, maybe my dates were just a little wrong. But her kicking out that slug really messed with me. I never had that. I've heard of it happening, but I didn't know if you've had experience with it or not.
Never had that happen. I don't think it's necessarily unheard of. Sometimes snakes do like weird stuff, even sometimes retain an egg and then like pass it the next season.
I've heard that.
All calcified and they do weird stuff. Probably recommendation would be like, just make sure she's well hydrated, give her a little soap maybe, and just keep a close eye on her. I'm no vet, but in my experience, that's
amazing body condition. I mean, and on the ultrasound, all the eggs look long, not round. So
great call on that. Just ultrasounding to just look for blockage.
Just that was a smart look for blockage real quick to see if there's
that was a smart move.
I got it.
Time.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait.
She passes it.
I'm sure I'm hoping she does it. I've already had one die on me because of egg bound. So I'm like, that's why I'm just like, oh no, like what? I'm like, what the hell, man?
Rarity. I mean, yes, it can happen. It's not unheard of, but like,
right.
Ask everybody that's ever bred ball pythons if they've ever had that happen. Maybe they say once, maybe.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often. It's not one of those things. I'm like, and I know her husbandry's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
She looks good. Her condition. Look at her skin. Look at
yeah.
Is she hydrated? You can look at a snake and tell if it's healthy or not.
Oh yeah, you can tell. Well, speaking of let's go on this topic because this was a huge topic in the industry and stuff. What about that Vans commercial with those dying ball pythons? Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, that snake looks, skin and bones look like shit. There is no lack of ball pythons in this world. Like if Vans was like, hey, we want to use one of your snakes for a photo shoot tomorrow, I'd be like, yeah, man, whatever. I wouldn't even charge nothing for it. It'd be cool, right? But the fact
throw my logo on it real quick. We good.
Somebody's sickly fucking shitty snake and put it on there, and they weren't like, boy. Yeah. I mean, honestly, it was probably lack of knowledge. They literally just saw a snake. They can't tell. We're all conditioned to be observant of these things, right? If we purchase a snake, we're looking, is it healthy? Is it hydrated? Does it have mites? All of this stuff, right? We go to shows. We're like, we know these animals. We breed them. We produce them. We know their conditions. This marketing executive that was like, hey, it would be cool. Let's put a ball python on some shoes and let's go. You know what I mean? Like they probably didn't even know it was a ball python. They were like, yeah, let's put this corn snake on these shoes and make it happen.
That is the actual definition of what your snake should never look like.
Yeah, especially come on, man. I saw it made a couple ripples. I did see some stuff on there.
Yeah, it did get taken down.
Yeah,
the community did get it taken down and stuff. So I mean, that was at least really good. So at least they got it taken down. So. But I mean, it was just one of those things. It's just like, man, that's crazy.
It looked.
I did see it, and I was definitely like, that snake looks like shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Looks like shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, someone save that snake for fuck's sake, dude.
I think for a snake to get even I got some males that I'll may not. So I typically do weekly feeds. I've sort of gone to bi-weekly now, just kind of reducing my overhead. Which is totally fine, right? And I have males that I'll even push that out sometimes. They just, I feed them maybe once every 3 weeks, once every 4, depending. But they don't lose weight, right? You just keep a close eye on it. Yep. Males, like an adult male, does not need to be fed like a female you're getting up to breeding size.
No.
And so for a snake, whatever that is, male, female, I don't know, to get so emaciated and skinny looking, there was a clear lack of care.
That thing should not have eaten in over a year.
Yeah,
I had a male that went off food for the better part of a year and looked nothing like that.
Do you recall? Have you ever had I don't know, maybe in younger years, a male that has gone off food for a year? And I know I've had it happen in the past, and it was nerve wracking. Back in the day, my first ball python that I purchased in my breeding career or whatever was a lesser pastel, right? Big deal, right? It's nothing now, but I think I paid $1,500 when I didn't have $1,500, right?
But that was back. When did you start breeding?
So I think my first clutch was 2008, and I had ball pythons before that. I used to do a lot of crested gecko stuff. That was my focus, and I've been a keeper my whole life.
What's up, Bob?
I mean, literally at the age of 5, I got my mom to buy me a lizard, right? And so it's always been a thing. I remember I had to pass some test in 6th grade to get an iguana. Iguanas were the big thing. It was the 90s. Everything was extreme. Now, ball pythons are kind of my primary focus. And I moved into that about, I think 2007 is when I started. I had a friend who told me, he's like, oh, I got a ball python. I'm like, dude, why'd you get that? That's lame as fuck, right? And
no, okay.
No, he was like, no, it's het caramel. And I'm like, what the fuck is het caramel? And so then I started looking at ball pythons and all the genetics and everything. And I was like, holy shit, they're these things got a lot going on. I didn't know, ball pythons used to be a boring little brown lump that sat in the back of the tank at Petco. But since it's changed, right? The industry is different, and there's so many genetics and variability. So I don't know. Shout out to my buddy Noah. He got me into look at where this went. Now it's an obsession. It's a lifestyle. Right. So
I did that. I did that with Josh Fisher. He was in here. I don't know if he's still in here or not. They bought their first one off of me. Okay. And now he's breeding. Yeah, he's like 18.
Yes. Look at him now. Yeah.
Look at him now. So like they're like, oh, thank you for that. Like, I'm like, it happens. I warn people. I like that come by my expos and stuff. Like, I'm gonna warn you guys. I'm like, these are a lot like tattoos. You can't have just one.
Yeah.
You can't have
it's
just
a fact.
one.
I've sold mini snakes to the same people. Like somebody buys one, they're like, man, I want another one. Like let me get another one. Let me get another one. And,
I sold a snake to the same guy 3 months in a row.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he kept coming back. Yep. I think he bought I think that's when Will was cutting down some of his collection and stuff. And 3 months, like one of them was at 2 different expos too. He came and got a snake off Will.
The bamboo.
I have people that message me on Instagram. They're like, "Hey, I got a snake at the last show. When's the next one? I want to get another one."
Yeah.
So I listened to the guy like 2 days ago that was messaging me. So. If you got a quality product, you're nice to the people, and they enjoy it. Like, why shouldn't they buy another one from you?
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, real quick, we're gonna do another commercial break real fast for USARK. Make sure you guys check them out. We'll be updating the commercials here probably next show or two, so we don't have the same commercials always. But as you know, USARK commercial, guys.
Yeah. So again, Phil Goss, I am president of USARK, which is.
Everybody, welcome back to USARK's official channel. And unfortunately, we've got a live alert for us today.
For the conservation of reptiles, but it's not always the case. Phil, could you explain to us what's going on with that?
So another big alert that we put out was the United States Fish and Wildlife Service is looking at possibly adding 2 reptile species under the Federal Endangered Species Act.
All right, and we're back real quick.
Back in the game,
back in the game. But yeah, back to what we were talking about. But the male wise, my first ball python was a banana Mojave. Okay, that was when I first started it, and that was just as a pet. Yeah, that was as a pet. I still have him. He bred my first clutch, and now he's just one of those keep snakes that I'll never get rid of. But I remember he first went off food. He went off food from October to March of 1 year because he wanted to breed, and I didn't know anything about this. I'm just sitting there like freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, what the heck, And I remember the first time that he took, and I was like, yes. And it was like March. I'm like, okay. And then he started doing it like on rotation. He still does it. Like, he does it every year because he wants to breed and stuff. Like, I cannot break him of it. I'm just like, whatever. I'm like, it is what it is. He don't lose weight or anything. But yeah, I mean, as a new keeper and stuff, I mean, it can be nerve-wracking.
I always tell people, I have people, they'll purchase a snake from me and they're like, my snake's not eating. Well, I'm like, well, check your temperatures.
Yep.
There's like some basic like troubleshooting you go through. And then in the end, you're just like, sometimes ball pythons be like that. Like what else are you going to say?
Right.
They can, most of the time, all my stuff stays on feed, but like there's definitely males. Specifically, it seems like males, but even females, stuff that I want to be feeding, like they can go off feed. It's just, it depended on the animal. I mean, I've had stuff that are just tanks. They just roll through every rat. Tank, right? And then I've got some others that are like, meh, I don't want it right now. Like it's just, you just don't know. Every animal's different. I don't know if that's genetic variability or the particular animal, its condition, whatever. But, the main thing I always tell somebody in a situation like that is breathe. Okay.
Yeah.
Just,
right.
It's going to be, I promise you. I just say, go back to your basics. Do you have a hide? What are your temperatures? Is there a water bowl? Check. All right, good. Is the animal losing weight? No.
Don't worry about it.
Give a week. It's okay. Like you're gonna be fine. So, it's kind of rewarding in its own way when you bring a new keeper along. Like I just sold a guy a snake a couple weeks ago, and like he was so excited. Like he's like, I've never had a snake before. It was a big deal to him. He's gonna remember this forever.
Oh yeah.
There's like kids I've sold. The parents get them a snake for their birthday or whatever, and like they're so excited. There is some reward to it. It's not all about the money and making the morphs. You kind of make memories for people, and that's
money. What money?
Yeah, right. Well,
what money?
Some years are better than others.
There's money in this. What?
I was going to say, maybe when we get to the year that Yates is at, we'll be making money.
Yeah. Listen, it's about breaking even. If you can break even,
if you can break even, you're good.
Okay?
Yeah,
if you get the enjoyment of making the snakes and you're even, there you go.
Yeah. No, that's a win in my book. Yeah.
So what have you done? Have you done anything different since the last time that you've been on this podcast? Have you changed any tactics? I don't know. Have you done anything?
I think it's the same old. I mean, no, there's been some strategy.
See you later, Rose at Scissors. You're welcome. Appreciate.
Dude, you just cut all over the place. Are we? Yeah, that was weird. Okay, so tactics, any kind of changes. Strategies, I suppose, right? Like you gotta adapt with the market, right? And the market is not what it was in 2020, right? So
it never will
I've done, probably not, right? That was like a once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah, once in a lifetime thing.
I've done, all right, what have I changed? So, obviously like Morph Market has its auctions. I've done some auctions.
Okay.
I'm not going to say that they're great. I'm not, like I've had like numerous people like ghost me, just not pay. I've sold some stuff for less than I would like to. But sometimes you just got to keep it moving, right? You're like, all right, I think the market values this, but ultimately the market determines what is going to be paid for something, right? You can get for the right person and get the top dollar for sure, but it doesn't mean that person is going to see the animal and purchase it from you, right? So exposure is everything, getting things out there and, being your biggest promoter, like that's a big deal. Like everything else, I've probably scaled back a little bit. I kind of, when we got into like the real height of everything and I started working on like triples, I definitely bumped up my holdbacks and everything else. So, everything's a level of expansion and contraction, right? I expanded. Now I'm ready to contract a little bit. I'm not getting out of the game. People get all crazy and they're like, nah, I'm done. I know a lot of people that got out in the last year. And what happens is they thought they were going to come in and get rich. It's not the case. You got to do it because of the love of the game, right?
Yep.
And I love the game. So I'm going to be here forever, man. It's whatever. Yeah.
What's up, Mike? Yeah, I feel you on that, man. I was like once you learn and stuff, it's just like, okay, but I'm going to go high. I do have a question for you since you've been at this for a little bit. Have you noticed a difference in sales? Is your high dollar stuff moving faster or is your lower end stuff moving faster for you?
Well, it's hard to actually answer that realistically. So I think animals that are appropriately priced move quickly. That being said, I just produced that leopard lavender clown that I produced. That thing is a fucking smoke show. It's amazing. I feel like it's appropriately priced. It's a $4,000 animal. It's been on my Morph Market for a month or two now. It's just sitting. I won't cry if it doesn't go anywhere. It's a pretty snake. I could use it for sure in future projects. But there's always going to be. So how should I put this? All right. When I did crested geckos, I used to do crazy money at shows selling $50 geckos, right?
Right.
I'd go to a show, it'd be a first pet thing or whatever. It's easy, right? It's easy to swallow $50. It's nothing, $50, $100, whatever. But you get into $200 snakes, $500 snakes, $1,000, $5,000, whatever, right? You've got your market, the amount of people that are willing to shell out that kind of money substantially shrinks, right?
Right.
And so unless you're somebody like Justin who has the exposure, he has got the web page and staff and all the great photos and everything you need to be the name in the game, you're not going to get all of that. I mean, if you link with the right person, with the right project, and it makes sense, it all lines up, the stars align perfect, you're going to sell some shit. But that's why I say if you're doing it for the money, you're in it for the wrong reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just a fact. I mean, these are living animals. You have to enjoy it. You got to like what you do. If you enjoy it, they say, what is the saying? If you enjoy what you do, you will never work a day in your life. And that's how I feel about ball python breeding.
If you enjoy what you do in ball python, you're working 24/7.
Just for negative money, right?
Yeah. You're still working.
That guy, he didn't know what he was talking about. Whatever.
Yeah, he didn't know what he was talking about. But hey, I love it though. You know what I mean? I just got caught up today from the 2-day expo that we did. I work in 12s and stuff like that. I was a day behind on feeding, then I fed, and then I spot cleaned, did all that, added humidity. And then yesterday I was up until 1 o'clock in the morning doing the rats and stuff too. I'm all caught up, got the housework all done, but like, it's a grind, man.
Dude, these shows are a fucking grind. Let me tell you.
Oh, dude.
I do not do a lot of shows. And I'm going to tell you why, because I need to sleep for a week after they're over. Like, I'm sort of like an introverted extrovert, if that even makes sense, right? Like, I like to shoot the shit and talk to people, but like, it takes a lot out of me to be able to like go out and talk to all the people and be 100% and give them everything. There's some challenges. So, like I'm going super shows this weekend, right? I'm going out to the Reptile Super Show in Pomona next Saturday and Sunday, next Saturday and Sunday, the tail end of the month. And, I got to drive 6 hours from, Phoenix Metro over there, unpack, put it all together, do everything that goes with the show, do all this stuff, and then pack it back up and head back.
Yep. I mean, that's right. Yep. 100%. 100%. That's why we started doing the live at the expos. So we started doing that on the channel. So we'll be live tomorrow at the Kalamazoo show. So you guys can watch that. But that's just so people can sit there and see what vending a show is like.
Oh,
like we can't sit there and go leave unless you're with somebody because you might miss that sale, or you don't want nothing swiped off your table. You know what I mean? Like, as shitty as that is, but you can see what it's like to go vend a show, and that's not even including the drive, like you said. That's just the show. Yeah, it's a grind. Right. I think me and Will are at we'll be at 27.
Tomorrow will be 28.
Okay.
For the year, and it's June.
Okay.
Yep. So if you figure that out,
it's a lot of shows.
A little
do you guys do it monthly?
We have monthly shows that we go to every month because there's some shows that there's a waiting list. So if you lose your spot, you lose your spot. Now, like we'll split up. Plus we sell the cocoa, so we're also committed to that as well. So we always have that. And even if I don't have a snake or whatever, I still have customers I have to sit there and supply the cocoa to because I have that base and because I can't ship it because it's so freaking expensive.
Yeah.
Like the one dude over in Valspero, he was like, "Hey, can you ship me 3 blocks?" I'm like, I mean, I could. It's going to be $85 for the 3 blocks, but then it's going to be $105 for shipping. Yeah, it's going to be like a little bit more than exactly. So
less than gas driving it to him.
Yeah. So Royal said, we have any vending tips? We are going to be doing that podcast on Will's Wednesday next, it'll technically be this Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Will's going to go over vending tips, what to bring, and all the expo stuff. So
if I don't want to step on that podcast, but if I could just put my 2 cents in on that, just get started, right? Just you want to vend, go do it.
Yeah, just go do it.
Right? Like
100%.
Go get yourself a tablecloth, right? Get yourself some business cards, get some delis. It does not have to be a fancy polished thing. You just go out and really it's about connecting and meeting new people.
It is.
We started with no tablecloth and deli cups.
It don't take much. You can go do it.
Much. That's what I'm going to go over.
I wish I had pictures of that setup when we first started.
I was going to say,
I really do.
I've told this story before, but Brian with BHB, I used to vend in Omaha, and he's out of he was out of Michigan. And I had a table set up, and I thought I was hot shit. It was kind of early on in my snake breeding career. And this dude had across the way from me, wall to wall, snakes. I didn't even get a look. It was embarrassing, right? But it was humbling in a way. It was not the worst thing in the world to happen to me because I did think I was hot shit and I got humbled and a little slice of humble by, that can go a long way really. So
I was going to say, that's kind of what I'm going to do is go over what basic you need and then what will help you and make you more comfortable.
Sure.
Doing them.
So 2 cents on that. A list. Start with a list, right? Every time I ever do a show, I fucking forget something. I need a checklist to run through. Even to this day, I don't get it right every time. Also, comfortable shoes or a floor mat. All right, that's just simple.
Floor mat all day.
Thank you. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
It's for me. It's not forgetting stuff going. It's forgetting stuff coming home.
Yeah, well,
I always forget stuff going home.
I don't forget much of anything going because unless I'm downsizing stuff because we're taking one vehicle, and then I forget to put it in a tote. But everything I take with me stays in one tote or two totes, and it just stays packed up. So once I've broke down everything, it goes in the tubs that it belongs in. It comes home and it stays in that tub. That way, it's there. All I got to do is grab the tubs, throw them in the truck, and away I go. I don't got to worry about.
I literally have two totes that sit in my garage. They're show totes. It's real simple. I just make sure to keep that there. And those are the ones too. The Home Depot special. That's right. Yeah, those are good. Yeah, I definitely have a couple of those, and I just keep them loaded up, and then that's how I. That's how I
dirty living room.
Yeah. It freaking shows. They're fun, but they are a grind, and
they're tiring, but it's worth
it. Every month, every weekend, like or close to it, right? I can't believe
we're averaging at least a little over one a week.
We do at least one a weekend.
But they're like semi-local, right? Like some of these guys drive across.
Closest one is an hour away. An hour drive one way is the closest one.
Other than that, our average is probably about 2 hours. About 2 hours. I think about 2 hours is our average.
I would love to do Tinley someday. I know, I guess it's a bitch to get in, but I mean, that's a 24-hour drive. Like
that's
Brian said if you're solely a ball python breeder, you're not getting into Tinley anytime soon.
Probably not. Yeah, and I believe
that came straight from Brian. That came straight out of Brian's mouth. So.
Yeah.
We're trying to get into Schaumburg.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get into Schaumburg. I'm going to try to get us into Tinley because I'm doing berms and starting hog nose as well.
I won't bring my things. I'll just go sell cocoa over there.
So,
how's that working out? By the way, is that pretty good?
It's great, dude. It's really great. So there's some shows. So I've found out that we're gonna fix our schedule next year too, so we're not pounding out as much. Plus, I hired Brian to help with the cocoa as well. It sells really good. What's up, Mission Morphs? It sells really good. It's just you have your month. So when we were in Columbus for 2 days, Saturday we sold 18 blocks, I think, or something like that. 15. On Saturday, 15, and then Sunday we sold 2 because it was a slow part of the. It was a slow show. There's shows that we go there. And we'll go do at least maybe 10, 15 blocks, or there's some shows like we sell too. It just depends on when people buy it and when they need more of it,
and then how much they buy at a time.
Right.
So if someone that comes in and has 3 snakes and buys 5 blocks, you're not going to see them for another 3 months.
It's longer than that. Yeah.
You're not going to go through it that fast because it's that good of coconut.
It's that good.
You can do 4 to 5 months without a complete change out. As long as you're doing your spot cleaning just misting watering it back down. What's up, Mitch Moore?
I like the cocoa. I used to use like paper liners, and there's a place I still do use them sometimes, depending. But the cocoa is just it's
next level.
Things, right? Easier. Yeah.
Exactly. Paper. Once you get over so many snakes, paper is just.
That's not feasible. Do you start your hatchings on? I'm sure you do, Matt. You start your hatchings on paper towels and stuff too, right?
He's probably got paper liners.
Oh, do you got the liners?
Yeah, Reptisorb. Yeah, I got some Reptisorb liners. That's what I use. They're pretty good. They're like it's better than paper towel. I do have
these like you use in the displays is the Reptisorb.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Put those in the displays.
Do you wet those when you use those, Matt, for your humidity and stuff?
Well, what I'll do with like if I'm cleaning stuff out, it's still probably a little wet, and I drop the Reptisorb on top of it. I don't necessarily wet them down unless I'm like worried about something shedding. If I see something blue,
gotcha.
Yeah, I do paper towels. What are those skinny little hatchling tubs? I can't think of what they are, the exact model, but I use those paper towels in those because
the VE17
Reptisorbs. They got that dish, that holder, and there's like a very small one that just rips, so you don't want to do that.
No, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try that because the paper towels suck. There's no way about it. Like every 2 days, you gotta go in there and go change them. I remember doing them last year.
They're good for like small to medium size stuff. That's what I like them for. Small to medium size. Thanks. And then another benefit is when you get like an adult, like say you're doing a first pairing or whatever, if you've got like a larger tub and you do a pairing in there, you can sort of see like the drag marks, the scenting, that kind of stuff has occurred on the white paper. So that's sort of a good way to track like what happened in the night. Yeah.
It's a good idea. Yeah, that's all. Yeah. But I was just that's some value to it. I just use the paper towels just for the hatchlings to get them going, and then when they start like, so what I do is I'll feed them two to 3 meals depending if they take right away or not. If once they take their 2 to 3 meals, I'll take them all paper towels and put them on cocoa.
Yep.
And I started getting them established on cocoa. Is how I do it. I don't. Yeah. So I use because I'll take out the vermulite in the tub. Like once I cut eggs and stuff, I'll take out the vermulite. I'll put them on wet paper towels because I don't like the vermulite all over them. And then I'll let them come out of the egg. Once they're all out of the egg and stuff, I'll change it one more time, and then I'll leave them put them back in the incubator until they shed out and they're good to go. So they've always on paper towels, and that's what they're used to try to help them get established on their first meal. So we'll see. Yeah.
I don't like feeding on coconut right away because you're feeding small stuff.
Yeah, I don't either.
Bury in there and you can look and not see it. And think the snake ate and it didn't really eat, and then you come back 2 days later and it smells horrible. And
nothing worse than missing a rat.
That was that was High Desert's freaking thing on Instagram today. It was so funny with the
what did he say?
He had that reel or whatever. It's like, ew, gross. Why would you do that? And the caption was, when your snake drags its prey through water and just leaves it there overnight. That's the worst. You go back in there and you're just like, I try to like double check that, like, but sometimes you overlook it or you miss it.
Sometimes you miss them. Like
that spider of mine does that. She'll kill it, drag it up to the water bowl and drop it in a water bowl and not eat it.
Yep. And then you go in there and it's just like, it's horrific. It's like,
that just cost me $250.
Yeah.
So that is the worst. I totally agree. That or leaving it on the hot, on the hot portion, like at least put it on the cool side, it's a terror. Look, man, it's the price we pay, You
walk into the room and something's dead.
Yeah, exactly. You come I gotta go check the snake room. I try my best to like check within the day, but there's always, you have so many animals. It's like, it's a whole thing. Just feeding, keeping up, checking. Okay, did you eat? No, you didn't. Okay, you get a second. Okay, let's move this around. It's I call it snake Jenga. You kind of move things around and just see what'll stick.
And then you forget where you put that snake. It's like, I know it was moved it. I've done that a couple of times. What's up, Barry? How often do you think that you spend time in your snake room with cleaning, all that? How many hours a week do you think?
Well, so Sundays are typically my days that I get in and I'm like, so again, I just kind of within the last couple of months, I switched from like monthly to like twice a month, right? So every other Sunday is feeding day. And sometimes for like my really young stuff, my hatchlings and everything, there's a local store, Predators Reptile. I'll go over there and just get like just a couple little poppers, kind of, especially when I got new stuff hatching out. Like I want to keep that going, moving in the right direction. Anything that's a little bit older and more established, I'm really not too concerned with going every 2 weeks. In fact, it's working out pretty well. It's like less cleaning, less money out there. They're still growing fine. They're still healthy. These snakes do not need to be fed every week. That being said,
they're right there. They're eating faster and they almost always eat every time when you feed them every other week.
Correct. Yeah, they do not skip. So that's like a benefit to it, right? You're not like, oh shit, they're full. They didn't want to, they get that extra time to digest. It works out. It's working out pretty well. But outside of that, probably every day to every other day, I go in for just a spot check, just kind of checking everything. Full cleans. It's really just dependent, just like tub by tub, right? I'm like, ooh, this is getting a little, like I need to take care of that one. Yep. You know what I mean? Oh, somebody had Thanksgiving dinner last week, clearly. Like I need to handle that, it's just dependent on the situation, right? You can, you kind of feel it out. But
you do feel it out.
Yeah.
I say I probably do if I had to take a guess, probably at least 8 hours a week.
Whole
That's
shift
between
right there.
that's between the snake and the rats. Now it took me
Okay.
2 hours. It took me 2 hours last night to do the rats alone, but that was making new
Dude.
colonies, freaking full clean out. Will about got kicked in the face yesterday, stuff like that because he wants to sneak into my house when I got the music up and try to sneak up my stairs, and I'm over there just dripping sweat, freaking.
I did not sneak in his house. I walked in the house. His music was
literally
playing.
through the door. I came through your front door. What are you talking about?
Paused his radio and then went up the stairs and just kind of sat on the edge of the stair. And he come around the corner and screamed.
I'm like, you are in the face.
Like a girl. Like,
no, it wasn't that.
I would say it was like a girl. It had a manly tone to it, but it was still.
It was like, what the fuck? No. Yeah, like I was like, you got lucky. You might got punted in the face, Will. But yeah, I say probably about 8 hours is fair.
That's God bless you. That's a whole nother animal. I did it for some time when I was newer to it, and there's really a benefit to it, no question about it. You know,
there is.
Produce your own stuff. Say there's a time cost associated with doing your own roads. So, like, I love the fact you can like selectively. Oh, I got this size. This is perfect. You can kind of cherry pick what you need to be fed to whatever. You can produce them for less than what you would pay if you had a rodent guy you're purchasing from. But you know, the time and I think I developed an allergy, to be honest. You know, like you know, I used to do rats and it was no problem.
Yeah.
Anymore, it's like a little bit. I get a little nasally, a little sneezy. You know, especially on Sundays. So hard pass on that one. But you know, it's not for everyone, and there's benefit, especially if you're like small enough or. You know, it can make sense for you, or maybe even if you're big enough, right? Like either way. But I don't know, man.
That one's rough, dude. Because you got to one. There's time, like, oh man, dude. There was a time when my fan quit working upstairs, and it overheat. We had a heat wave like we do this week, and on top of it, the water lines got infected, and I didn't know at the time. I had the clear ones.
Oh, that was bad.
Dude, you want to talk about the smell of death of coming home from a 12-hour day and opening up the door of the house, dude, and going upstairs. Oh, we were talking that they were sitting there, dude, and they were so gassy and stuff, dude, that they were leaking because they must have died early in the morning because of what was going on between the heat and the affected water lines and stuff, dude. I had to restart the whole colony, dude, the whole setup because they were dying so quick. That the first day I probably lost about 60. So you imagine 60 dead rats.
It was just so hot. It
was so hot. It was so hot because the AC went out one that I had in that room, and then the fan quit working and stuff too. So they just sat there and baked. So and then on top of it, the water lines and stuff too, because they had algae in it when I took them apart and stuff. I'm like, well, no wonder why too.
Yeah, clear water lines.
Yeah, I had the clear ones at the time. And you talk about freaking opening up that door and freaking off a 12-hour shift, dude, and having to deal with that. That was the worst.
So that then was the day you almost quit, right?
Dude,
like,
dude, it was the disgustingest thing
2
ever.
days later, it still smelled bad.
And then on top of it, okay, and then I come home the next day, and then I lost another 30 or 40 of them. So at this point, the whole rat count, I'm like, you know what? I'm just like, I'm done. I freaking got rid of the ones because like they pretty much were all dead anyhow at this point. That was almost the whole collection. I'm like, I'm done. I freaking tore everything apart, redid it, got new water lines, got the black ones, freaking fixed everything. I haven't had a problem since. But I mean, that was horrific. And and that was on a Monday. Oh, dude, I pity those trash guys because that was on a Monday, and my trash doesn't get taken out till Monday. So the trash just got taken out. So, dude, it smelled so bad in the trash can that I took that out on like Tuesday out to the curb, dude. And it was horrific. I felt so bad for those trash dudes. Like that, it was so raunchy, dude.
Nasty.
It was nasty. I was like,
you could have a whole show on snake horror stories like that, you know, just. Like I think, so I'm in the hospitality industry. You know, I work in hotels and stuff. That's my 9 to 5. And the stories we can tell of just shit that has happened, and the reptile industry is no different. So that, you could definitely, you know, it's terrible. But did you have a window unit that failed, or was that your whole house's air
conditioner? It was the window units. I live in an old ass house because like I had the snakes in the living room and stuff. So even like I wouldn't even personally want central air because I have the snakes and stuff. So it keeps them really like this is like my house stays really cool anyhow, like in the summer. So it's not really a big issue. Now, like upstairs, I run the AC unit and stuff like that. I'm getting new windows put in too, so that's gonna help. Like with the airflow as well. But I mean, it was just one of those things, dude. It was just like, oh my god, when was that? That was about 2.5 years ago when we had that heat wave here when it was probably like 110, like it is over there. Like it was unbearable and everything just died. I know James is having the same problem right now in his barn and stuff. I just got done talking to him. He's like, man, he's like, our mice aren't doing good right now because the heat, and we're struggling right now. I'm like, yeah, dude. I'm like, I am too, and I'm breeding indoors.
Yeah, that'll happen for sure. I mean, the mice don't do well in the heat, and then you drop on top of that your window unit. That's a thing where the like ammonia and dust and everything that kills those window units quick. I know a guy that breeds rats here locally, and he's like, he just burns through those things. I mean, he's got them on deck. Like he's got a couple boxes just ready to like swap one out on one fails. So
yeah, you have to, man. You have to. Like it burns. It's burning the one that I got up already and stuff, just because like it sucks in and I always clean the filter and stuff. Don't get me wrong, but it's hard. It's rough, and that's the stuff that you just don't see. That's why your LLC and just write it off. Window AC, right off. It's for the rats and gotta keep them cool.
Definitely right off.
Yeah. Have to. What else do you have that's gonna go in the incubator that we can look forward to? You need to do YouTube, man. I want to see some egg cutting videos on your YouTube or something.
I have a YouTube, but I'm not very good at it.
No?
It's a whole thing. You need to have somebody to like film and do all the stuff, and an editor. Hey, if there's an editor out that wants to work with me, shout out. Okay.
Hey, I hooked you up.
I appreciate that, buddy. Yeah.
I got you.
So, well, I got my incubator over here. I'll grab my clutch cards. Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you what I got in the incubator right now.
We're going to find out Matt's secrets. You guys want on the list to any potential stuff? Here we go.
Yeah, I just went to his morph market to look and see what he's got listed.
All right. Now I've got all right. So first one, OD spot nose clown, core glow, red stripe, yellow belly, 100% head clown. We talked about that one earlier.
Yeah, we talked about that one earlier.
That's going to be a banger. I don't care if that's just a simple clown clutch. That's legit. Okay.
That's legit.
Mm-hmm. Next one. All right. You remember scale heads? Remember that was a big thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I still have a scale head clown, but it's okay. So I got a clutch from her. Bred her to that same male. So the coral glow, red stripe, yellow belly, 100% head clown. Also to the Wookiee DG het hypo. So
can't go wrong either way.
We'll see. At a very minimum, we have the potential for triple hets Wookiee. More to come on that one. Now, this one here, I'm actually excited about. It's a hypo clown project, but so I had a banana champagne. No, hold on, let me go with the male first. So an orange dream firefly, red stripe, yellow belly, double het hypo clown. Okay, so that snake is so pretty and clean,
right?
And it's not a visual. It's just a double het male. I took a swing on a couple of years ago and ended up hitting. Would have been a 50% het, but I proved it out. So this is to a banana champagne double het hypo clown. So
very nice.
Like, that could be cool, right? Like
that'd be cool. I would just see what champagne and hypo clown would be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So you don't see that.
You don't see a lot of champagne. Sort of made a comeback a little while ago and then kind of died off. I was actually never big on the champagne,
right?
But when it made that comeback, I snagged like 2 champagne females. Just like
that's another one.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little
complex.
We'll see. That one could be cool. The banana champagne looks pretty cool, actually. So then I had we talked about this one. Marvin and I are doing this collaborative here. This is going to be that's the Wookiee DG 100% het for hypo to the chocolate 100% het for DG and hypo. So the possibility of hitting that same male that I produced this last year.
That male was insane.
Then we've got He's sick. He just shed. He looks amazing. I'd show him off, but he's in the other room. I don't want to go dig him up. But all right. So then we've got let's see, sires. So I have the black pastel leopard yellow belly hypo DG, and as well, this is 2 males I put in the Wookiee DG het hypo to a pastel yellow belly double het hypo DG. So obviously, just more shots at hypo DG combos, potentially black pastel leopard yellow belly or Wookiee. It kind of depends. We'll see who ended up getting that one. And then last but certainly not least, I had a 2011 clown, big girl. She produced an 8/8 clutch. She was paired to both the black pastel leopard yellow belly hypo DG and the coral glow red stripe yellow belly 100% het for clown. So those are 2 males. I obviously took a lot of shots with them. I like them both.
Yeah.
You know, we're pushing the hypo DG project along forward. And then I really, that coral glow red stripe yellow belly het for clown, I bought them from Justin. And like, you know, the banana coral glow stuff, as it ages, it gets the spots. I'm not a big fan. But man, when that thing was a hatchling, it was a fucking banger, dude. It was so, that red stripe on top of the coral glow, it intensifies it so much. And then I'm like, oh, well, let me put a little spot nose, alter the pattern, and you know, put a little orange dream to like intensify it even more. I think that should be a real good one. So we'll see. He's going to be looks like maybe a daddy up to 3 times here this season. More to come. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, you got some awesome stuff coming, dude. I'm excited. I'm excited. I might be in contact with you.
So yeah, we should. Yeah, we could definitely talk. We'll work something out. I'll take care of you. So I was gonna say I have females that are like of size from a couple of years back that I didn't even pair. Like these are all established, older female. So I have like an adult rack, like a 70 series, and that's like where I focus a lot of my breeding. And then I have some other stuff that's like 30 series. You know, like the little small, like the skinnier ones, like what's behind it. You know, those are. I have ARS. You've got the Freedom Breeders.
Yeah, I got Freedom Breeders.
Essentially, the difference in those two. Yeah, and so I don't even look as hard for like pairing prospects, even though I have girls that are in there that are definitely of size. So my goal is to try and clear out my adult rack, move some stuff over, and then I'll focus more on that. Gotcha. I don't want to have 40 fucking clutches. Like I don't care if I can produce 40 bangers. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to have to deal with the dispo. I don't want to wholesale shit. I just want to enjoy what I do, you know?
Yep. That's one of the things I did learn. Someone did say, they're like, man, I kind of wish I didn't go so big because it kind of takes the fun out of it. And that kind of takes the fun. And I took that to heart, dude. I'm like, I understand. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from because I did 48 babies for me last year. That was a lot of work, you know. And
that's nothing though. That's like 6 clutches. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like people are like, I want to have 100 clutches in 2024. Fuck you. You don't want 100 clutches. What are you gonna do with all those animals? Like,
right? What's up, Edge?
It's not worth it. It's not fun. It's just
not.
It's not. I'm a pessimist, but like if you enjoy it, like it's like if you hatch a clutch every day, you're desensitized to it, right? But if you
it's just another thing.
5 clutches in a year, like you're like hell yeah, like it's. I don't know. There's a feeling. I think we've all experienced it, right? When we got our first clutch, like when we hatched the first one. Not even that. Let's take it back. When we incubated our first clutch, right? How long was that? 60 days.
Oh, dude.
6 fucking years long. Right? That was the longest 60 days.
It still is.
It still is.
It's forever.
It still is.
And I think anybody in the comment can probably, if they've bred ball pythons, they can relate to that. They're like, it was forever, right? And you just you just learn with time in this industry. Just wait. You get more patient, I guess. Maybe it's an age thing. Maybe I'm just older now. But I remember
put it out. Get an incubator with a clear door.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just staring long and
staring.
Please.
Because I built one.
Today's the day.
Yeah. I built my first incubator out of an old electric smoker. It had a solid door. That makes it go so much longer because I knew I couldn't be in there and looking
up the temperatures.
Yep.
Now I can go in and look through the door and be like, they're there. They look good. I don't got to get in there. I still look at them every day though.
Every day.
Yep.
All right, real quick, we're gonna do one last commercial break before we wrap this up. We're gonna do the Morphing Around podcast one, even though it goes to the 5-4 because that's kind of the intro, but it is what it is.
This one is a chocolate GHI.
So I'm an advocate of quality.
You have less than $2,500 to invest. You are going to be making pet level animals.
I'm a little bit more confident in doing that.
This was a head to visual, right?
It was a head to visual. So
you are killing the odds so far. This is gonna bring up a topic real quick. So what do you? Fucking puzzle sucks.
It's just not for me.
All right, and we're back one last time before we wrap this up. I was gonna ask you something too. What were we talking about? Sometimes commercials are bad. I forget what I'm talking about.
Throwing you off the game. We were just talking about the long time frames that.
Oh yeah.
6 years, real quick.
Oh, dude, that 60 days is freaking forever, man. So I'm getting ready to hit a milestone here. Hopefully by fall. Which would be it'll be beginning of next year. I hope. I'm hoping to have my first one that I ever produced to be on eggs. So that would be exciting.
Oh, yeah.
The first whole back ever. Yep.
Super exciting. That is sort of a milestone, dude. I was trying to think about it the other day. I'm like, I don't know, what am I, 6, 7 generations of ball pythons at this point? I mean, for a male, that's not that big deal. It's a year, but when you're bracing females, it's like 3 years. So yeah, I've done, I don't know, that same lesser pastel I bought. Remember that blackhead clutch I was talking about hatching? That's like some of his lineage from about 5 or 6 generations ago, I think.
I mean, isn't that awesome though? Because you can sit there and be like, I've been doing this, I've been committed to this for this long. This is where my lineage. This is where I'm at.
It's not awesome. Fuck that.
It's not. It's odd because like they say, like time goes by fast anyhow. You might as well do what like you said, some of these animals and stuff is like, oh man, I remember when I got this, like you're this big already. Like time flies, dude. You'll grow you will grow them up before you know it.
You'll look at them and they're like small, and you'll go in like the next day or a day later, open it up, and they look like they've grown 2 foot overnight.
Yeah. I suppose if there was like a new breeder coming to this, and I could give any level of advice, it'd just be like, be patient. Get the basics down, get the husbandry down, keep them fed. Good things come to those who will wait. It
is.
100%,
man. I said it's not. That was the hardest thing that I had to do, was sit there and be patient. I'm not a patient person. I'm not. Like to sit there and have to be patient. Like you're always waiting. That's why I tell people. And we were at the expo at Columbus and stuff. Like you could probably see it in the live at some point somewhere in there. You can hear me a little talking to this guy like. If you're not patient, if you're not in this for the long game, don't even do it. Don't even try. Don't. I'm like, this is.
If you're not willing to work twice as hard as you already are, you're not going to make.
I've seen a lot of people not make it. Let's put it that way, and that's not a dig on anybody that got out or whatever, but this ain't for everyone, and. I mean, I already said it. You got to enjoy it. If you enjoy it, it's not really, you're not rushed to it because you enjoy what you're doing, right? You're like having fun. You're like, oh, this is awesome. Like, yeah, there's some anticipation and excitement and new clutches and hatching out things and raising them. But like, if you're having fun, if you're like, you got to take the good and the bad,
But that's a good stressed out.
Yeah.
It's
right.
Anticipation, not like, how am I going to feed these? Or I'm just tired of doing this, and this is so much work. And
it is work.
It is work.
That's why I said, if you're not willing to work twice as hard as you already are, you're not going to make it. Like,
listen, not even 9 out of 10, like 99 out of 100 people that are ball python breeders, they have a regular job. They've got a family. They got all this stuff. Like very few people break out into the world where they're full-time. Right? Like I know a handful of people that have done it. They're full-time, but like for the most part, that's not where it's at, man. You're doing your regular thing. You got your obligations. This is just a little side project you're having fun with. You got about the chances of breaking out and being full time on this as you do is hit the lottery. So
go hard or go home. That's how I was.
I like it.
That's hard.
Yeah.
I did. Like I said, when we redid the podcast, to put that much more time into these podcasts and have that much more feedback, with the wives, with the Wills Wednesday, like we doubled our workload to what we already did, but the positive feedback from the community and stuff of what we're doing now, and people see it as you have too, because you're like, man, your guys' reels are awesome now, like, and you guys are cranking out the content. I'm like, that level of recognition in itself is worth golden money, because
and we split it up over 3 people,
right?
Instead of just you having to do it all. Now each one of us has a specific thing that we work on,
right? And I'm gonna say that because that we did it this way, we put in that much extra work. We went from 793 subscribers to in just 2 weeks and busting out this content and redoing everything to 835 last I checked.
Is that what it was up to?
Social media and all that shit all by itself is a grind.
It's talking about dude.
We're not talking about breeding and feeding and cleaning and all this shit. That's a whole other, all of it, right? There's all these pieces of the puzzle, and to be successful, you got to be able to find the combination.
Oh, dude, you have to, man.
836.
Yeah, I just checked that too. So we are 836 right now. So I mean, that's insane, dude. I remember when I was at 10, and now to see where it's at now. So I'm almost
that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Just to see that, and go back. Like me and Carl were going back in my very first videos and stuff. Like, dude, look how bad some of these videos were compared to now.
Yeah, I haven't even watched your first videos, and I can tell you that they're terrible because that's how everybody's first videos are.
Yeah.
And if one thing I can say anybody should do, it's take the cringe, right? Take the cringe and embrace it, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Fucking go for it. Fuck other people's opinion, right? Like, who cares? Like, fuck them. Who cares? Do they really matter if this guy is judging you? Fuck him. Who cares? Go back to Justin's old videos, okay?
Oh yeah, I watched some of his.
Impressed by how polished he has become. Like, like this dude. Like, look at him. In the early days, like, you're like, come on, man, what's going on here? Look at this guy. He's all skinny and it's just he changed. Like He's got that level of confidence. He's got it down. You know why? Because he did the reps, right? He did the work. You got to go in. You got to go do the work if you want to see the results, right?
He put himself in front of that camera over and over and over and over and over, and you become used to it. It becomes second nature anymore. When you first start, people are not normally used to being in front of a camera, talking to a camera.
No, I hate it, to be honest with you.
But nobody behind
it.
I
first started it.
Yeah. So once you've done it and you've done it for 45 50 videos, they start working better because you get used to it. You forget the camera's there and you just start talking.
You just start doing your thing, man. It's fun. I think social media is a lot of fun. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of fun. I know I've driven some people, got people breeding and stuff like that because of me. So I mean that in itself is inspiring. I do remember I was going to ask you earlier though. I was going to ask you, how much are you still investing into your collection that you're buying, not making but buying?
Not much, really. To be honest, I produce I produce a lot of pretty good stuff on my own. Just stuff that is worthy of keeping and that people would want. I'm sort of just getting to the point where I'm like, sell it all, right? And not in the sense that I'm getting rid of everything, in the sense that
you don't need
whatever
it.
Doesn't sell. If I want to keep it, I'll keep it. If I if it's something I want to keep, I'm this is a valuable animal, well, I'm going to price it accordingly. Either somebody pays or it stays with me. It's not that big a deal. Really, I have a whole direction that I've worked toward and been doing this for a long time, where I've been working on the triple stuff. So I don't need to really add to that. If I was going to, it'd be very selective in something that recently I've kind of been thinking about getting into, that just a co-dom. I kind of like to get a hurricane project rolled into some of my triple projects, right? The other way I would do it is if I was getting, the VPI we discussed, or very specific things. I'm you know what, this would add to it. And then that would be the route I would go. So, last year I picked up a couple pretty nice animals. I don't think I bought anything this whole year so far. So I think I got an ultra milk clown last year, a Cypress hypo clown last year.
Ooh, that's nice.
A couple other smaller things that are like, I bought females too. That's the other thing. So everybody always gets in and buys the adult male, or not adult male, but they get the male that's like a high quality breeder male,
right?
Which is good. It's a good play. Like you definitely can produce stuff in the short term. The long-term play is to get the females. You go buy the females that are the, yes, it takes a couple of years to get there, but
that's your investment.
Because you can breed that girl this year, next year, the year after that. You're going to produce really good stuff for years to come if you keep her. She's still valuable, which more than likely she is. Well, that male, he will lose value. You won't want him in a couple of years.
Yep. I mean, males are easier to replace than females because it's harder to part with a breeding female than it is a breeder male. Let's put it that way. I have that one female, like I took her to expos countless times and stuff. And I'm surprised she hasn't sold. She's such a powerhouse. She's like a 5 or 6 gene powerhouse. She'd be great for a new breeder to sit there and take the long route to make their heads off of, or double heads, because you got blackhead, sugar, pastel, Mojave, Enchi, and possibly Nanny in her. You know what I mean? Like you get all that into your project now, and she's just sitting there. I'm like, if someone's not gonna do it, I'm gonna do it because I got her 2 sisters. I'm gonna still do it with. Like I'll do it. Screw it. I got the males. It's a female. That's one of the things you just don't mind holding back. But I think I've only bought 2. I think I've only bought 2 this year too.
Yeah.
Like where I'm to the point where. What was that?
So I've just been limited in my additions.
Yeah.
I'm not actively expand. Like I said, I'm in a contraction phase right now. So I'm like definitely just like, not trying to add to the workload. I want to have less, unless it's the right animal. If I find something that's the right animal, I'm getting it.
Oh, yeah.
That's all there is to it. If I see something, I'm like, that's like a piece of advice I'd give people. It's like, when you come across something that works for your project, don't sit on it. Don't be like, well, I'd like to, I don't know. I got to get the money. Just go fucking get it. If you're like, this is the one, this is what I need, fucking snag it. You'll figure it out on the back end.
Yep. 100%. Just snag her up. Because that's what that one with that female that I got off Justin. I was like, I'm like, that animal works so good with the collection because I'm making these triple heads. I got that. And then I got the male. I'm like, I'm just going to do it. I'll find a way. I'll find a way later. And I got it. And
he does that all the time.
Yeah. Well, that's either great advice or absolutely reckless. I'm not here to determine which one, but
it's reckless. It's reckless. I already know it's reckless. It's shit. But like you said, though, if you're going to do it, especially with these females and these powerhouse females, it takes 2 years to grow them up. You might as well get it. You know what I mean? Like you got 2 years to figure it out later or whatever. I can recoup that money. Money comes and goes. I might be eating sandwiches for a week, but that's okay. I got a badass steak.
Little mac and cheese, little ramen noodles.
It's all right.
Yeah. I got 2 snakes this year, actually. I said 0 a minute ago, but I got 2.
Yeah.
I accidentally added Krypton to my collection.
Oh yeah.
Forgot about those.
So
you know what? Krypton's like kind of underrated, to be honest.
I didn't want cryptic because I'm doing clown.
Say it again.
I said I didn't want to get cryptic because I was doing hypo clown pieds and I didn't want cryptic to be in the mix. But I have it now, and I paid $150 for a male and a female.
Yeah, well.
And the male turned out to be hypo, and the female's a lemon blast Enchi Krypton, and the male's a het hypo Krypton.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you can't be mad at that. It's
not,
a lot of
$150. No,
right?
That's nothing. You're gonna spend that on rats on them in the next couple of months or whatever. Like it's not that big a deal. But you talked about like it turned out to be hypo or whatever. You didn't know that?
No, it was what was it, 66?
Yeah,
I think it was 66, and I just shed tested it.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you did. Yeah, testing is a whole nother thing. I barely scratched the surface on shed testing just because I'm old school. I've just been working on it, figuring it out, proving it out. I have done a handful of shed tests and intend to do more. There's some real value in having that tool, but it's crazy now because you'll just get pets you didn't even know. You didn't even buy it as a het. It wasn't advertised as a het. It's just there's so stacked deep with genetics that's just what you're going to end up getting. I've many times have proven stuff out that I didn't even know on one side or both sides of the pairing was het or it was clown or whatever, and just like, hey, surprise, like that'll happen.
The other reason I tested it is because if it wasn't hypo, I wasn't keeping it.
That makes sense.
Because I didn't need just a Krypton male.
You're right. Yeah.
So
well, the Kryptons got along. What I was gonna say is like they're kind of cool, actually. Like
they're cool, and they're visually, and they're a visual too. Like the double hat.
Yeah. I think they're so
cool.
Yeah,
I think there's some things
like
on
them.
that it hasn't been realized yet, but people will figure it out. So
I was so pissed. I was so freaking bad. So when we say shed test, fucking shed test, because this freaking male was a DG spot nose fire pin, 66% het hypo, 50% het cryptic. Oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna freaking breed them to the vanilla clown, see if I get Kryptons. I would shed test them too on top of it. Okay, she obviously at shed test came back negative for cryptic. I mean, that's nice. I would never done that pairing. But I mean, I still got
back negative for hypo too, didn't it?
Yeah, and hypo.
Yeah. He has the worst luck with the hets, like the 66 and less hets.
I'll hit the all-geners.
Yeah. I can't hit it. I can't hit the all-geners.
I'll hit the all-geners though.
Hit the odds on the shed test.
Yeah. Will hits the odds on the shed test. I hit the all-geners and the sex odds. Will's completely opposite. I mean, I'll take that all day though.
I don't know, that clutch that I just hatched, that freeway, Ivory, and I'm pretty sure they're all female.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Do you think, let me ask you this, and this is really just speculating, but do you think there's anything to like genetic, temperature, sex determination in ball pythons? Because some people are like, I hatch females all the time. And I'm like wondering if, obviously that's like a proven thing in a lot of geckos, leopard geckos specifically. Do you guys see any kind of statistics like that?
I don't think so, because Billy's tried it for it. Billy's tried it. Yeah, Billy's tried it, and they've done. They tried.
So he did like a controlled.
Yeah, he did like a control type thing, and they tried. They didn't. It was like 50-50. Some clutches were, some clutches not. My personal experience, I've have the 42-inch sea serpents incubator. So like all my clutches that were in there last year, and some clutches I hit a lot of males. I mean, a lot of clutches I hit a lot of females, and then the one clutch I hit 2 females, and the rest were males. So I think I've had the very beginning of the season, I was really female heavy, and then it switched where I was getting like 50-50 or maybe one more male out of the clutch or whatever towards the end. And it's all the same incubator, it's all same, temperature, stuff like that. So I mean, I don't think so. I just don't see it. I think it's just one of those like pray to the sex gods. Like, come on.
I think over all the clutches I've hatched since I started breeding, I'm like right at 50-50. I think I'm a little male heavy.
Yeah.
But I've always incubated it. The incubation, the temperature has been the same all the way through all of them.
Yeah, but you can have variability within your incubator, right? Like you
can.
Higher level, your lower level. I've had some just weird, not that I'm saying that this is a thing, but the sex odds sometimes are skewed one way or the other.
Yes.
So just makes me think that sometimes when I'm like, boy, I got 7 females in this clutch, like that's strange. But again, if somebody's done controls, I'm just curious. I'm really just talking about that.
So right now, off my whole career, I keep track. I'm 15 and 26 ratio. So 15 males and 26 females. So it's not bad. Now I think the hypo clutch I just had, I think that was 4. I want to say that was 4 females and 2 males in that clutch, because the 3 powerhouses were females, and then the 2 Enchi hypos were males. I think one was a female, I believe. So,
and counting the first clutch that I hatched this year, I'm 12 and 15.
12 and 15.
So I mean, it kind of even. I think it's 50.
Yeah.
It equals. I think it equals out.
Close.
Yeah, it's real close. I think it equals out.
Okay.
And we both incubated 2 different temperatures. So
what do you guys incubate at?
Mine's at 91.
Mine's at
91.
Oh, it's hot. What about you?
Mine's at 90, but it reads 89 in the incubator.
Okay.
So yours, Will's usually pips about day 53 because he runs it hotter. Yeah.
51 and out of the egg by 55.
I think the charger is behind here. Yeah. So sorry. Love you
And then, so Will does about 51 day pip. I'm more along the lines of 56. Now, we did bring up a topic on the podcast with Billy. Billy was saying that there's some days like the reason why he tries to cut before they pip is because by the time that they get done pipping and stuff, like when the eggs are all shredded and stuff like that, the snake is tired and may not necessarily want to eat or whatever after the shed. It's done that. Like the snake's just exhausted. So I'm like, that's interesting.
I wouldn't say that.
I bumped up a little bit. I think I bumped my temps up, but I balanced it out. Right now it says 90.6. I typically shoot for 88.5. You can calibrate these things a little bit. So if I went and I have one of those sensor pushes, I could probably pull up the data and look at that. But that's about what I shoot for, 88.5, gotcha. 89. And to touch on what you're saying, sort of same thing. People do the whole, do you cut? Do you not cut?
Yeah.
I usually wait for a first pip, and then
I do too. That's my rule too.
Depending how patient, not patient. Even to this day, I'm patient. We've talked about it, right? There's days where I'm I want to see what the fuck is in these eggs, and I go for it sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, but I always wait for the first pip at a minimum.
I do too.
If it's first pip on day 50, I'm probably going to wait till day 55 or something like that before I cut. Until they're all
these clutches, the next two I'm going to cut at day 49.
Okay.
And see if it helps them eat right away or doesn't, because they're not
Yeah, we're gonna test this. I'm gonna do the
other
same
two
thing.
I have. I'm gonna let go till they pip. And then I'm going to cut them open.
And then we're going to see what ones eat faster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, my recommendation in my experience, and there's many ways to skin a cat, as I say, right? Is wait for the first one to pip.
Yep.
And then after that,
that's normally what I do.
Do the damn thing, but if you want to try an experiment,
just try an experiment.
But in the past, I've had times where I was less patient and had cut maybe earlier than I should, and have had animals not do as well or not absorb their yolk well. You got.
I've had that too. I did that too with the one. Yep.
Yeah, you got to be ready to come out of the egg. So
that's only 2 days early for me because mine every one have pipped at 51. I've had at least one pip at day 51 on every one of my clutches. So that's only 2 days early, and obviously if the eggs just don't look right, I'm not going to do it that early. I'll wait till another day or so. But they're already sucked in, and I still have 5 days until 49.
Right.
So
we'll see. He's also going to do the ASF experiment too with the rats and see if one grows faster than the other.
People seem he's gonna do consensus that the ASFs work better. Now, I don't feed ASFs because I used to breed and feed ASFs, and then when I switched, when I didn't have any more, I had fed them all off or whatever, and started doing rats. They were like little crackheads, and they didn't want nothing to do with any of those rats. They wanted their ASFs, and they were like, it was a real problem getting them switched back over. So
I didn't have that problem. That's weird.
I've never had that.
Yeah, issue. It was definitely a thing. They did not want a Norwegian, any of the Norway rats or whatever.
I've heard that. I've always heard people say that, and I've never had that experience.
Yeah,
never.
Yeah. Well, maybe you've done a mix or something. They're kind of used to it, but I remember it being a real
I will
problem.
rotate back and forth sometimes.
Yeah.
Just whatever I have around.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Yeah.
So,
yeah. I got tired of the ASS because they're a pain in the ass to breed. Even cars that even adding.
That's a problem. And I guess it's genetic, but they're mean. At least personally, the ones I had, they were vicious little fuckers, and they would bite my fingers. Now, other people say, "Oh, they're great. They're little pets or whatever." Listen, I'll give you that, but I don't think they're nice. But again, maybe I had the feral ASFs. I don't know.
I'll get in mine and touch them. I'll move them and grab babies.
Yeah.
No gloves, bare hands.
Yeah.
They are mean. All right, dude. Well, I appreciate you coming on to this show. It's been fun. We're gonna wrap this up. We're hitting that 2 hour mark. So I'm gonna go get something to eat too. We'll be live tomorrow at Kalamazoo. Me and Will will be live, so check that out. About 9:15 or so, maybe a little bit sooner, so you guys can watch the setup or something. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Matt, thank you for coming on. It's been
Definitely.
fun.
Just real quick, hey everybody, get those subs up. Let's get this guy to 1,000.
Yep.
Get that giveaway going. Let's get some free animals out there, some credits.
Appreciate it.
Catch me at the Reptile Show, so Reptile Super Show. It's actually going to be a really big show. Anybody in Southern California or in the Southwest in general, come see me. It's going to be next weekend, and it's going to be, I guess it's like the Bird Super Show, the Aquatic Super Show. It's a whole thing. It's going to be a very big deal. So definitely come see me. I will be in the left lane toward the back or about midway through. Matt Yates Reptile on Instagram and YouTube. Thanks for having me on, buddy. I appreciate it.
It's fun.
Best of luck on everything. We'll touch base soon.
Is that Pomona?
What?
Is that Pomona?
What?
Yeah, that's on Pomona. Yeah.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, that'll be a good one for sure.
All right. See you guys.
All right.